is this is so funny because you're recording your end, you can hear your end, people can hear my end, but you have no idea what I'm saying right now. You're a giant fucking tool, Tim.
See, I see him just moving his mouth and smiling. He's probably just like shit talking me right now. Because I can't.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
You piece of crap. Yeah, so I basically just wanted to. It's been a while since we've done one, and I actually had the weekend off, so I haven't been working this weekend. That's why I figured we could figure it out. Maybe set one up.
Yeah, we did it. We're here. It's
yeah, except it's international now because you're all the way over in London.
The United Kingdom, the Queensland.
Yeah, in Her Majesty's kingdom. So how is it so far? Like, how is you moved there? What is this, like 4 months ago now?
Yeah, it was beginning of December. It's four and a bit months ago.
Yeah, so we haven't talked since then, or at least we haven't recorded it since then.
Even though we haven't actually talked. Let's be honest. We haven't talked.
I mean, you've been busy. I've been not busy and just very, very bitchy.
I've also been not very too busy, but yeah, exactly. We're halfway across the world from one another now. Yeah, the last podcast we did, we were like, yeah, we're gonna get back into season 3. Looking forward to you guys hanging out. And then we're like, nah, fuck.
Yeah, like, oh boy, life is changing.
Oh man, there's so much happening.
Yeah. There's a lot of life things happening, especially, I mean, for both of us, of course, you moving to London. But I mean, I had, over the winter, I had 2 jobs, and now I've got Sarah with constant attention, let's say that. I've got a girlfriend, you've got a girlfriend, so it kind of sucks up a lot of time.
Yeah, we'll get into that a bit later and how much of my time is consumptionized by having a female friend. But yeah, we'll come back to your original question. How's London been? London's been great. London is a fucking hectic city. Let me tell you, it's a big change from Vancouver. There's so much happening. There's always stuff happening. Like I took the tube on Saturday last weekend, and it was full. Like it was absolutely packed. It was 1:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and it was so full of people. I was like, what am I missing out on here? What is it what am I fucking up? Yeah, it's bananas. There's so much to do, so much to see. Not that I've done any of it. There is just lots to do and lots to see. Yeah, I've just been still been working for my old company, which will be letting me go at the end of this month. So I'll be moving on to something else after that. And then, maybe run out of money and have to come back home.
Well, I heard they maybe hit a spot of trouble, and that's why they're having to let people go.
That's what I was told. That was the message I was given, is that...
yes, of course, yes.
Don't have any money to pay you, Lucas. I was like, you know what, that's fair.
Well, you know what, that's the only reason I'm here. So I understand if you need me to leave.
It is top 2 reasons. 1, get paid. Number 2, get paid to poop.
Fulfillment. Yeah. Oh, yeah, paid to poop.
Obviously,
yeah. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Screw
need
fulfillment.
Yeah,
Fulfillment's
exactly.
dumb.
It's for lamos.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, you've been all over the place already. You went to Spain, you went to Morocco, you went to the Netherlands, was there a Paris trip in there as well?
You bet. So we went to Paris as well. What else? Yeah, Netherlands, Madrid for 1 day. So for 24 hours in Madrid, which is awesome. Going to go back there.
Okay.
Morocco for 5 days, or four and a bit days. Netherlands was over the weekend, and Paris was over the weekend as well, which is awesome. No trip this month, but at the beginning of May, I'm going to be going to Bruges for a weekend, and then
Bruges,
fucking Bruges, and then in the middle of May, I'm going to Vienna as well. So life's hard over here, man. Life's really hard.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. So. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. You said let's get Tim's update. What's Tim doing?
My update? Yeah, well, I mean, it's still Vancouver, it's still raining. It was raining this morning. It actually started hailing a little bit this morning, which was funny because today's the sun run, so there's a bunch of people, like thousands of people out there running, and it started hailing, which didn't look like a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then. Yeah, it's actually, everything's pretty sweet. A couple weeks ago, I went to Ontario and Quebec I went to Quebec for the first time. So I went to Toronto, and then we went to Montreal, and then we kind of did a detour back to Ottawa so we could go to see a Senators game at the Maple Leafs at the Senators. So we got to see two Canadian teams play in Eastern Canada, which was really cool. And then we finished off in Quebec City, which is great because it's like Europe, but it's in Canada, so it's way closer and maybe a little bit cheaper as well.
I'm sure a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But other than that, I worked all through the winter. I'm still doing tour guiding, but we did this thing called Whistler Connection throughout the winter, which is, in all honesty, not the greatest thing because you're just driving people to and from Whistler, and it's just like it's a snowstorm when you're going up there, when you're coming down, and it's white knuckle driving all the way, especially when you got a bus of 24 people plus their bags in the back. So you're like, oh, maybe this thing's so heavy it won't stop in time, and blah blah blah, with all this like slipperiness on the roads.
Exactly.
So that was really sketchy. But of course, like the hours were a little bit reduced in the winter too, so I decided to get another job, and I ended up working at a radio station, News 1130 here in Vancouver, as a traffic anchor and reporter. So basically, on the weekends, I would be the guy who's there at 6 a.m. to report the traffic that doesn't exist on a weekend, because it's not London, obviously. So there is no traffic here on a weekend. So it was basically me just talking about nothing for 8 hours every Saturday and Sunday morning.
Right.
And the reason I had the podcast set up to do it this week on Sunday was because, the last 2 days I haven't been there because I finished my stint there last week. It was my final day, so I'm back to a single job income kind of thing. And I'm somewhat happy about it because my life isn't a bit of a whirlwind anymore. Because it was like 6 days a week, or I don't have to get up like at ungodly hours in the morning on a weekend, which kind of messes with, even if you don't have like a late night go out and party Friday, Saturday kind of lifestyle, it still affects your life in a few ways. So but that's pretty much been what's missing for me. I was just working, just keeping busy. You know how it is.
Well, I did some new stuff, so I set up my own little website, spent a bunch of time working on my own website. So you guys, for those of you, the two, I guess our parents and the one other listener that we have, Tanner, you guys can go and check out my new website. It's called lucasmain.com. So now I'm pretty proud of myself. I've gotten hold of all the Lucas Main handles so I have facebook.com/Lucas Main. I have twitter.com/Lucas Main. I think, no, Lucas Main, Lucas_Main, pretty close, but, and now I have lucasmain.com. So it's pretty dope. It just has my little profile and how you can get in contact with me. So that's what I was doing. And I was thinking the other day, I'm going to start, the other day, actually, this was 3 months ago when I moved here, that I was going to start doing a blog with putting some, instead of like podcasting, if we're not going to podcast as much, I was going to put together a little blog. So I might do that on the Wonder Boys website as well as my own, have them be dual posts in the same place, get double the hits, double the advertising credits from News 1130, who's going to be our new sponsor.
Yeah, that's right.
And whoever else feels like sponsoring us. Maybe the beers that I'm consuming right now are the Brew by Numbers Double Dry Hopped Pale Ale number 5.
See, that's the one thing you can do over there. I mean, it being, what is it, like 8:40 at night, and it's still just past noon here. So I mean, I technically could have beer while we podcast, but I only got out of bed like an hour and a half ago. So, because I'm really enjoying my not having to wake up at 5 a.m. thing. So I'm like, I'm going to wake up at 11 instead, or not wake up at 11, but roll out of bed at 11.
Yeah, whenever you decide to just drag yourself out of bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's sweet.
What's cool about your websites, I mean, actually getting yourname.com is probably not the easiest thing in the world, so that's pretty cool. You didn't have to put any dashes or weird like lucasmain2.com.
Lucasmain XX Pro XX momslayer.com.
Yeah, your mom slayer. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Well, I mean, hey, since we're on the topic of those weird names, your PSN handle can be changed now. You can change your name on PSN.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm still going to be extra tartar sauce.
Oh yeah. Well, that makes sense. But there's one guy who posted online. He's like, I've been Mad Boy number 7 for like 9 years, and now it's finally time to become Madman number 7. It's like I'm not a boy anymore.
I've graduated to the man.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. It was a good little thing. But there's a lot of news I wanted to talk about as well this week, specifically Star Wars news, because this is basically a Star Wars podcast.
You know what? When you contacted me and you were like, hey, Lucas, we should do a podcast. I was like, oh, really, Tim? Why? Is this weekend important for the Star Wars universe at all?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean, Sarah puts up with it, and I talk to her about it. But, I mean, when you and I talk about it, it feels nice, especially when we record it.
I'll stop you right there before you continue. I saw a change my view post on Reddit the other day that said something along the lines of, Disney has absolutely gutted the Star Wars franchise. I was like, out of your own asshole, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that movie for a second time because of, I think I mentioned this in a previous podcast, that I was like, I just can't bring myself. I enjoyed it the first time when we watched it on opening night. After watching The Force Awakens, boom, sick. Came out, saw this controversy, why The Last Jedi is the worst movie ever made and all this good shit. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to listen to that. I know I'm not watching it again. Fuck you guys and your opinion.
I still think like the movie stands pretty well on its own. I think that the problem is that these people, like, sure, they didn't like the movie. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, it's a movie. Not everyone's going to like it. That happens with every movie. Like, I didn't like Captain Marvel, for example. Like, I thought it was okay, but everyone was like, yeah, it's making tons of money, blah, blah, blah. And I went to see it. I was like, it's not good. Like, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think it's a good movie. It's like, by Marvel standards, it's fun to watch. But it's like, it's like, you needed to shoehorn this fucking mega character into the story of the Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, it was weird. So, I mean, yeah, the movie was passable, but I didn't like it as much as everyone else. But that was it. Like, that was the end of it. I kind of let it go. I was like, all right, well, the movie's not great. But a lot of people are tanking it now to the point where they're like, okay, well, Star Wars is dead to me. And, like, these guys are fucking stupid. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's just a movie. Like, you just back up a little bit.
Fucking chill your tits.
Yeah. But yeah, especially with this week, they announced basically the final entry in, they're calling it the Skywalker Saga.
Yeah.
And I'll admit it looks cool, but when the title came up at the end of the teaser, I was like, well, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I didn't like the title. I'm glad you brought that up too. I thought maybe you would have the same opinion. I didn't like the title.
The title's not good. I mean, maybe it'll make sense in the context of the movie, but like up front, like if you look at the previous 2 entries, The Force Awakens, oh, that's cool, kind of some mystery there.
Yeah.
And then The Last Jedi, you're like, oh shit, mystery. Like The Last Jedi, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
And then this one, The Rise of Skywalker, you're like, that kind of contradicts the last movie because dude's kind of dead, and also
dude's kind of very dead.
If you look at like the trend of all the Star Wars titles, you have The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. You have A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Those ones are all fairly vague. They're not using any proper nouns. So having like someone's name in the title, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, you're kind of like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for Solo because I mean it was about Han Solo, but I don't know, man.
Even Rogue One didn't. That was.
Yeah, it was a generic name. It's not like Jyn Erso, a Star Wars story. You're like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
But maybe, hopefully, the movie will make sense. Maybe they came up with the title after they wrote the movie, and they were like, okay, there we go. This makes sense.
Right.
But right now, ahead of time, you're kind of like, okay, so this is kind of, oh boy, not good.
Yeah, I'm not. So I mean, the trailer is very cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I enjoyed it because I don't want to jump on the hype train too soon, but I'm just reorganizing my stuff here to make sure I get power to my phone doesn't run out of juice. Yeah, I don't want to join the hype train too soon. The trailer is very cool. I think they touch on every character you want to see in the trailer. You even get that last, like when the letters come up, you're like, no one actually dies, and then it's like the Emperor's little sneer laugh at the end, and you're like, oh my god, are they going to bring back Snoke? But yeah, the trailer's good. I'm more excited to talk about the video game news that came out of the Star Wars. So you can talk more about the Skywalker thingamajig, and then I'll talk about the. I have some.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the Emperor, I think that's kind of maybe a red herring. He did show up at the actor who plays the Emperor. He showed up at the panel after they rolled the trailer, and he's like, "Roll it again" in his Emperor voice. So I thought that was really cool. But I feel like it won't be like he's coming back. It'll be like the cave scene in Empire Strikes Back, or the cave scene in The Last Jedi, where it's like a dark side Force vision or whatever.
Right.
And I feel like that's going to be the extent of it. People are like, oh, he's going to come back and he's going to be the villain. I was like, no, I don't. I think we have the villain. We know who the villain is, and he's kind of cool. Being Ben Solo or Kylo Ren, like he's pretty dope. But yeah, that's really all I have to. I'm not going to overanalyze these things because a lot of people go into this like minute and a half teaser and they look at every single frame like, what does this mean or what does that mean? I'm like, well, watch it, enjoy it, and then when the movie comes out, you'll fucking know. Well,
exactly. Oh, well, Rey does a flip here, and you'll see by the way that she does this flip, she's clearly been influenced by the dark side of the Force, because if we look back in the novels, we read one of the novels back from 1972, before the movies came out. Get fucked.
Yeah, it's a bit intense sometimes. They're like, 10 things you missed. Red circle with a red arrow pointing to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, God, no.
Well,
why does YouTube keep suggesting these things for me?
Right. Fucking get out of my life, YouTube. Yeah, a bit of news that came out this week about Alexa. Just droves of people writing down your conversations about what you have after using the Hey Google or the Hey Alexa phrase after what happens there. So
what do people expect? It's literally a microphone that's connected to the internet. Like they're obviously going to listen to you. Like you bought it, and it probably says in the disclaimer, like we're going to listen to this or something. Like, but no one reads those. So
that's it. Oh man. Yeah, so we can keep stick with the Star Wars trend here. So what was I going to say about that? Yeah, the video game, the what's the name of it? Shit, I've lost the name of this movie.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. That looks cool. And the guy who plays the main character, I enjoy that.
I recognize that actor. He looks familiar.
He's from that Chicago, what's the name of it now?
Chicago
Shameless.
PD.
No, he's in Shameless.
Oh, Shameless, okay.
And he's another character. He plays in something else, but he
looks familiar. Like he's been in movies and stuff before. I think.
Yeah,
exactly. I've seen him before because I was like, hey, that looks like an actor, like a real life actor, but it's a video game. So I was like,
right.
I don't know, but it looks cool because it's made by the same guys who made Titanfall, so that's why the wall running was kind of in there. I was like, oh, that's sick. Getting a Jedi to wall run. How dope is that?
Which makes sense.
Plus, I love Titanfalls.
What?
Yeah.
No, yeah. What?
Plus, we're working with a bit of an international delay. So if there's an awkward pause once in a while, it's just because it's literally traveling across the planet.
Yeah, exactly. So, what has he been in? What else has he been in?
Yeah, I think.
He was in Gotham. He played the Joker. The young Joker.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
And yeah, he was in Shameless, and he's been in a few movies, but never.
Was he in Black Mirror? Was he one of those guys?
No, that's Brows. That's Eyebrows guy. They look similar though. I know who you're talking about. Eyebrows, the guy who always has the fucking crazy eyebrows.
Familiar. Oh, that maybe it just reminds me of him.
Yeah. But no, he's cool. And one of the things he actually said was that he enjoyed the character, which, again, yeah, same guys who made Titanfall, Apex Legends, are focusing on the story of the story narrative action game instead of having the EA loot box machine.
No multiplayer weirdness.
Fired up. So that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I mean, I don't know if you've played it yet, but I got Red Dead Redemption 2 a couple months ago.
Oh yeah.
And I've very slowly been playing through the story mode, but they've added now a multiplayer beta or whatever, and a lot of people were complaining about this graphics downgrade or whatever when I was like on holiday. I was reading about it. I came back and I actually noticed it. So they're actually sacrificing single-player story mode for multiplayer in their game, and I was like, that's exactly what EA does with what they've done with their Star Wars games, and it's like, come on, why?
Yeah, I didn't notice any graphical. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 slowly as well. I'm trying to avoid the main story missions as much as possible because I don't ever want it to end. Just been trying to kill as many rabbits and get a perfect skin as possible, but it's so fucking hard to do.
I know, it sucks.
But I digress. So I'm excited, and so I've been actually playing a lot of Apex Legends, the free to play battle royale game that Respawn made, and came out with 2 or 3 months ago, I think. And I've been playing a lot of it. Haven't spent a dime on it. Amazing, best free game I've ever played. And I'm having an absolute blast with it. And yeah, the guys, I really like Titanfall. I think I played a bit of multiplayer on Titanfall 2, but I never played the actual story or anything. So
dude, the story mode on Titanfall 2 is really good. And it's not just because it's like the story. The story's pretty good. Like it's a pretty good story, but it's the actual, like, the levels are all different and the gameplay is really really well done, like within the levels and stuff. And I actually, like, when I finished Titanfall 2's campaign, I liked it so much that I went out and I emailed the company that made the game. I was like, guys, I really like that, by the way. Do more of that.
Did they email you back, or did you get a generic?
No, I think I actually got written like a real email. It was from their customer service or customer relations department. But she was like, "Hey, thanks so much for writing to us. We really appreciate the compliment, and we're glad you enjoyed the game." It was basically, as much as they can say. Like, they're not gonna. I wasn't fishing for anything. I wanted to tell somebody, somebody's like, "Hey, you did a really good job, by the way."
By the way, here's a little circle jerk for you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's really good. I'm looking forward to that game. But otherwise, I mean, what's the biggest thing in London right now? You guys are dealing with a lot of crap right now. Let's say a little thing called Brexit.
This little party that was supposed to happen on March 29th got postponed till April 12th. And then on April 11th, they said, you know what? We don't want to have this party just yet. Let's postpone this even further. So Brexit's now been pushed back till at least October 31st, with some caveats. I don't actually know what the exact caveats are, but oh man, what an absolute shit show it's been over here with Brexit, and and it's so funny reading. So obviously you're going to find news outlets that are biased one way or the other, but it's crazy to see the absolute tabloid machines that are over here in the Daily Mail, the Sun. There's a few other, like, these newspapers, and I put that in quotation marks because they're not news. They're clickbait articles in paper form. It's essentially all they are. They just outlandishly display the facts. I'm pretty sure the only news source, because I learned that the BBC can actually be swung. They can go heavily towards the right wing. BBC can be very conservative. So I was trying to find an unbiased opinion, and basically The Guardian is the only source here that you can sometimes get an unbiased opinion. That basically just tells the story, gives you the facts, and lets you decide. But a lot of these places and a lot of news outlets, here's what I sort of discovered, is they've picked a side. They picked Brexit, or they picked Remain, and they're thumping that into the ears and eyes of the British people, who are, to be honest with you, some of the dumbest fucking people I've ever met.
What do you mean? Do you actually mean dumbest, or do you mean like insular, very isolated and in their own mind kind of thing?
Exactly. It's not dumb. They're not. It's not stupid. It's not actual stupidity, because if they were actually stupid, some of what they were saying would make sense. So it's I don't know how to describe it, but you see these people posting on threads that are not their echo chambers. So for instance, there's a subreddit called United Kingdom, and every time Brexit news gets posted on there, somebody says something about it. And then there's the one guy who's all for Brexit, jumps in and just starts spewing the same bullshit that we've been hearing for the last 2.5 years that doesn't really make sense. And everyone else like refutes his point, and then he's just like, well, Brexit means Brexit.
Yeah, right.
That's the right thumping that comes through. So, no, it's been an absolute blast to be part of it here. I got as part of advice from a guy I know over here. Yeah, we'll call him a friend, because if he listens to this podcast and realizes that I recognize him as a friend, please like me, Kevin. And
yay, Kevin.
He told me that this really smart guy that he knew was buying a Brexit preparation box, like essentially just enough groceries for 2 or 3 weeks, so you didn't have to go to the grocery store, because essentially supply lines were going to be backed up because of the import and export to Europe. If Brexit went no deal, so basically there was no tariffs and no deal between the European Union and Britain. That basically supplies would be stopped at the border because they have no idea what to do with them. So he said this really smart guy that he works with was one who was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to buy 2-3 weeks of groceries. And so this guy, Kevin, also bought 2 or 3 weeks worth of groceries. And I was like, no, I'm not going to buy into this conspiracy, man. I'm not going to do it. But I did. A month before March 29th, or 5 weeks before March 29th, I bought this box of goodies, a bunch of just food that you can easily use to make some pastas and stuff like that. And I got absolutely ridiculed from all of my roommates, my girlfriend. People came over, they laughed at me. And then you know what happened? Days before Brexit, people were saying, hey, no deal's still on the table. You might want to go to the grocery store, buy some groceries. I was like, fuck you, people who laughed at me.
Yeah, suck it, bitches.
Get so fucked. So I was stoked on that. But Brexit in general has been an absolute shit show.
Yeah, I mean, even watching it, like, we are literally thousands and thousands of kilometers away, but the news is still hitting us pretty hard over here. Like, you see it all the time. They're talking about it. And, like, Theresa May's like, we will do this, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, what is happening? I don't understand. Like, no, I don't think anyone understands. Everyone's like, we've, like, built this like, European Union law, and then they're, like, not sure how to undo it, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everyone that over here, this is the common argument that comes up. In 2016, people voted for Brexit. But everybody who voted for Brexit, the 52% of the nation, voted for a different kind of Brexit. Some people wanted the Norway type Brexit. Some people wanted that hard Brexit where, yeah, literally it's just an isolated nation where no immigrants are allowed in. And this is make Britain great again. Oh, first get the tea.
Yeah, right.
And then people were voting for a softer Brexit where basically they didn't have to abide by certain laws. And so essentially it's come to the point where they're like, okay, let's enact this Brexit. Well, which Brexit? And now everyone here is like, oh, I don't know. Let's agree on one. Well, no, you can't. No one knows. Everyone lies differently. So every vote they had that was supposed to be a decisive vote wasn't decisive. Then none of the parliamentary votes over here is that depending on. So it's been, oh man, it's absolutely wicked to see when democracy fails. It's absolutely, it's so funny.
Yeah, when it was, or maybe when it's been misinterpreted, or the voters themselves have been misled or something, or.
Oh yeah, the voters over here were misled for sure. I think there was so much, I don't want to say fake news, but it was like fake information that was posted saying that all this stuff about the NHS and all this other crap that basically, I saw about that. Like again.
They send however many billions of pounds to the EU every year on the side of a bus, and that basically started it all.
Yeah.
And that's not technically true. It was just kind of something that this guy put on the side of a bus.
That's right. Yeah, he just put it on the side of a bus. He's like, this is how you win votes. And they did. They got him.
What the hell? It worked, but gee whiz, like, could you imagine trying to like pull something off like that and then it actually works, and you're like, wow, that was a crazy idea and it actually went through. I'm impressed with myself.
No, exactly. Yeah, that guy deserves a pat on the back for being extremely slimy.
Yeah, what the heck?
Slimy.
Well, I mean, there's nothing like that going on over here. There was this whole SNC-Lavalin scandal, which is kind of rolling downhill. I mean, in terms of like international scandals, it's not the biggest deal compared to what's going on in the U.S. But
it's a minor mishap. It's a minor mishap.
Yeah, for Canada, it's pretty huge. So, I mean, it's kind of bringing out this animosity between the Conservatives and, well, really like everyone else. Like the Conservatives are getting a little intense. Like they're getting really. They're doing the same thing I found that the right-wing parties in the United States have done, where it's just like everyone else is wrong and blah, 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 blah. There's no partisanship or anything like that. Andrew Scheer even going so far as, I think, he's the leader of the Conservative Party now. There's a lawsuit going out against the Prime Minister or something now. I don't know. It's wild.
Wow.
Or no, the Prime Minister is suing him, I think, for libel or slander or something like that. And which I was like, isn't it like legal to slander people in the House of Commons? Like that's the only place you can slander someone. Yeah, it's getting kind of weird, but it's nothing on the scale of, for example, leaving the EU or anything like that.
But I mean, it is something. It gives Canada a little blemish on Canada's perfect reputation.
yeah, it's true. And I actually had a guy ask me about it once. I was driving him back from a tour. I was shuttling for someone, and I drove him back from the tour. He's asking me all about this thing, and I'm like, I don't know much about it. I know a little bit. Turns out he's from Toronto, and he's just basically trying to figure out my opinion on it. And I was like, dude, like I don't want to have an argument with someone in like just a random conversation. But yeah, it's kind of weird where I still don't know what's going to happen because we got general elections coming up, and I guess we'll have to see.
Interesting. That's funny because I when I'm over here, or while I'm over here, obviously I have a very North American accent, and so when I do something very dickish, I pretend to be American. But when I do something very nice, all of a sudden I'm from Canada.
Yeah, so I'm definitely citizenship.
Yeah, exactly. I'm playing both sides of the coin when it comes to that. I think I've said this before, but one of my biggest. So I think we'll open the Rage Cage so we can get started on that. Start bitching about all the things in the UK that have so far bothered me. One of the biggest things here. Oh God! Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry, everybody who had to listen to that.
Burpee beer.
Yeah, when I had garlic, I had falafel for dinner, so my breath all stinks like garlic. Biggest thing that pisses me off about London is nobody here understands any sort of sidewalk etiquette or walking in a straight line in general. I think I came back from London a few years ago and actually said this on our podcast too. So I'm just going to reiterate it now, having lived here. It wasn't just because I was on vacation. No, nobody knows how the fuck to walk on a sidewalk here.
So they don't walk on the left regard or anything? Oh, wow.
No.
That's dumb.
No one walks on the left. And then I think what really confuses people is basically the tube system fucked it up. So basically the tube said, stand on the right, walk on the left. So everybody's like, oh, okay, we'll just hang out on the right, pass on the left. Makes sense. But then you get out into the street, you come out of these magical portals that are the tube, you pop up on some other piece of the city and you're like, well, I guess there's no rules out here. People are weaving and ducking and diving and going slow and going fast, and the sidewalks are small. The number of times I've just straight up bumped into two people walking on a sidewalk that's only big enough for two people to stand side by side. Two people are walking towards me and I have to go by them, and they've just stayed two abreast. And I'm like, what do you want from me here, people? This is dumb. I'm gonna fucking train wreck you.
Yeah, you're a big guy. You're 6'3". You're what, almost like 200 pounds. You're like, exactly. I'm gonna knock you over. Like, I'm a big person. You're in my way. Yeah,
you're in my way. So I've been walking with Jenna a couple of times, and they've been holding hands, and we've been abreast. And then there's been enough room for four of us, but there's been three coming up, and then it's two of us. So I'll just firm shoulder it up, and then I've blasted a couple of people and turned around and looked at them and been like, yeah.
Yeah, you see, neither of us did it, but then again, I won.
So, biggest complaint about London so far.
Yeah,
and it smells.
Yeah, I've had that here as well. It's not fun. I hate it, and then it creates this conflict that you don't you don't really want, but you kind of do because you want to show them that it's not right. But again, it's like you're creating this conflict. You're like, oh boy, I don't know.
I'm gonna fuck you 2 ways to hell, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's a little bit too intense for the sidewalk. But
Yeah,
don't they call it the pavement there? It's called pavement, right?
The number of terms that are thrown around here that my brain is getting very confused. I think because we grew up in South Africa, learned all these like British / English phrases and terms from my parents, and then we moved to Canada, learned all these different like somebody said car park here the other day, and I was like, it's a car. Oh, it's where you park the car. It's not a parking lot. Stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, Dad used to use the term dual carriageway a lot for roads and stuff like that. And I mean, that makes sense in England and South Africa and whatever. But here, no one understands what that means. I think it's boulevards. I think they use that instead. Yeah. Or just or 2-lane roads or whatever. But I think I threw out dual-lane carriageway once by accident, just out of reflex. You go up around someone talking like that, and you just use it basically, and then everyone looks at you like you're a freaking madman. They're like, what does that word mean? Get out of here! It's like, yes, because in England they actually had carriages. Yeah. Exactly. Oh yeah, actually, and Sarah had to. She went to drop off something at Dad's house. I think it was like a container of some kind, like a Tupperware or a plate or a bowl or something, and she brought her friend Paige along, and Dad was there talking to them for a little bit, and Paige said to Sarah, she's like, "Oh my God, I just love the way he speaks. I just love just the words that he uses and his cadence and his accent. Because I mean, he's a boy from England, from the north of England. He's a country boy, so he's got this specific way of speaking. And I mean, we're used to it because we grew up around him. But I suppose it is interesting for people when they haven't heard someone like him before.
Exactly.
I think what was it? Oh yeah, that's right. It was. I think I'd given her something in a bowl that mom had made me some soup, and I used a bowl from Dad's house to give it to her. And then she went to take it back to him, and he said, "No, what did I say? Oh, I said, oh, Dad'll notice that this bowl is gone because he's very meticulous about everything in his house. He tends to notice things like that. He didn't notice, but when Sarah told him that, he said, "Oh, he's a cheeky bugger, isn't he?" And that's one of the things that Sarah's friend thought was really funny, just calling me a cheeky bugger.
That's awesome. You're a cheeky bugger. One thing we were talking about this a couple of days is phrases said in a North American accent versus saying in a
I've lost your audio,
British accent. Oh, can you hear me still?
I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear anything.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm just going off visual information now.
Can you hear me at all?
He's pointing at his mouth now, and he's trying to say stuff, and all I can see is his bright white teeth. Jesus, how clean are your teeth?
So Christ clean, almighty. Man. So fucking clean.
Jesus, you must brush like 3 times a day.
Minimum. No, that is... this is so funny because you're recording your end. You can hear your end. People can hear my end, but you have no idea what I'm saying right now. You're a giant fucking tool, Tim.
See, I see him just moving his mouth and smiling. He's probably just like shit talking me right now. Because I can't.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
You piece of crap.
That's so funny because I can hear you.
It's good to listen to because I can't actually hear anything you're saying.
Oh my God,
the
that's
Skype
so
thing is
funny.
it just died out on me.
Oh my God, I'm gonna call you back.
So I got the video. I can see everything, but I can't. Yeah, that little ringtone. You're back. I got you.
Hey, that's amazing. And you know what's great about this is that the audience, when we put this together, are going to hear both sides, but you're not going to be. I could hear you the whole time, but you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, I could just see you moving and smiling and like typing furiously, and that's all I could see. I'm going to switch you to audio only because it's still a little bit crackly on the video, so hopefully this will fix it.
That's so funny. So yeah, I think when we put this together, you're gonna have a jolly old time listening to it from both ends.
Well, yeah. Well, what was the timestamp on that? Like 40 minutes or something like that. I'll
Yeah.
try and make a marker so I can remember. But yeah, I was just sitting there with clueless, like I'm sorry. Like I finished speaking, and then I saw your mouth start to move, and I was like, oh, it's probably just on a delay. And then I just waited and waited and waited, and it wasn't coming back. And I was like, what?
Oh man. So I think we were still talking about Dad's phrases or like English phrases, right?
Yeah, basically like little things that he's passed on to us that, or that he says that no one here really understands or knows about.
Right. So then I said, basically, we were talking about this a few weeks ago, that some phrases you can say in a North American accent and you can say in a British accent, and they can they can be totally different. So for instance, we were talking about the word naughty. So if you've been a naughty girl, that sounds very sexual. It's like, ooh, you've been a naughty girl in a North American accent. But if you say it in a British accent, it sounds like a grandma's like disciplining you. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You've been a very naughty girl, haven't you? And it's oh yeah, wow, that's so different.
Yeah, the context totally changes a little bit.
Totally changes. So yeah, just with phrases and stuff like that, it's so funny. Ooh, so naughty. What was the other one we were talking about? I can't remember. But yeah, that's come up a couple of times. And I know I've had a few of my friends come over and meet Dad and been like, wow, I love the way that your dad talks. It's like,
it's little things that he'll throw in there, and little authentic idioms. I don't know what they're called. Like,
I think you're right with idioms, yeah.
Oh man, that was a good one to pull out of my back pocket. I'll use that again.
That's it. You're a tour guide now, Tim. You gotta have a big fucking vocabulary.
You fucking right, I do. Actually, I noticed a little bit since I started that job in radio. So I did that was about November till last week. So November to April, and I've actually noticed not only in like my personal life, but obviously in my other job, tour guiding, I've actually increased my speaking ability. I don't know if that makes sense, but because you're on the radio, you're basically you just talk, like that's the thing. And it's a news talk station, so you're just always talking. There's very little music. There's very little in between time. So I was just talking for 2 minutes straight every 8 minutes. It was like, damn, okay. So I got pretty good at it, to the point where Sarah said that towards the end of my time doing the radio report, she's like, you started to sound a little bit like the anchors on the radio station. So you even speak like them now. And it was like apparently my speech patterns and like the way I was delivering things kind of almost adapted to the news anchor way, because I was basically listening to all these other people all the time at work, and I guess just by being around it, like you subconsciously switch that manner of speaking.
Yeah, it rubbed off on you.
Yeah, it was weird. And then I started doing it on one of my tours one time, and someone was like, "Hey, you should work in radio." I was like, "You know what? Funny you should say that." Because I do, and that's why I speak this way, because I love radio.
That's awesome.
It's weird. It's weird.
I was going to talk about, with some other news now with all these measles and anti-vax.
Oh, geez, yeah. Talk about it.
Oh, my God. So stupid.
Vancouver's got like 17 confirmed cases or whatever.
That's why I wanted to talk about it, because it was like, it wasn't a BC that was considering like mandatory, because New York just did it. They just said mandatory vaccinations. Like, too bad.
Yeah. It's, it should be. I mean, that's a thing where the government, people say like, oh, the government's interfering in my private affairs. I'm like, yeah, the government's trying to keep your kid from dying, which is pretty much their responsibility if you're not going to do it yourself.
Exactly.
It's weird how, some people have gone about it. And I was reading also in Madagascar, apparently they've got an epidemic right now where like 1,200 people have already died from it. And then like an X number of thousand more have been infected. So it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like this is, it's kind of getting out of control a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We're never going to have that problem in London because we have basically the tube system over here. And anytime you ride the tube, you're exposed to every disease that's ever been created.
Yeah, that's true, because it's been around for over 100 years.
Yeah, exactly. It all lives down there. And as soon as you board, or not even as soon as you board, basically as soon as you enter the tunnels to get into the trains, They encourage you to use the handrail. I don't even want to know how many how many diseases and or potential viruses are on those handrails. But good Lord, they should just implement a tube system in every city in the world. You'd be good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, well, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, also when I was traveling through Eastern Canada, we went to Toronto's. It's a big city. It's got a pretty good transit system. But I gotta say, Montreal's transit system is fucking kick-ass. Like, it's really good. Like, the buses are really good. And then the metro is insanely fast. The train stations are huge. The trains themselves are really long, so it wasn't crowded at all. And they're all, like, brand new and clean and, like, surprisingly clean. Because Montreal, like, this is something Sarah and I both noticed. It's kind of a filthy city in the wintertime.
Did you hear that, Jenna? It's fucking filthy.
Oh, she's not there, is she? Thank God.
No, she's not. I'm
yeah, well, I mean, like, she'll know. I mean, I bought this postcard from, I'll send you the picture. I bought this postcard from Montreal. It was like this little art shop that we went into, and it was just a local artist, and one of the things he'd made was these fake postcards, and it was just like pictures of garbage or construction around Montreal, and I was like, so I got a picture of one where it's like a garbage can that's been thrown over on the street, and it's like Montreal, but written in sparkly letters. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what we've experienced. And we've only been here for a day. Like, it's just kind of like
so amazing.
It's just a big city is the thing. But the metro was the one exception where these trains were insanely clean and fast. And they've got these digital screens above the doors showing you where the train is on the route. So you know which station you're about to get to. It was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I mean, we learned that Quebec is the most socialized province in Canada, so maybe that's probably part of it.
It's probably part of it, yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, the some of the lines here in London are relatively newer and a lot nicer to ride. So I think I remember us riding the Circle Line or the Yellow Line here, and it's somewhat above ground and it's big trains and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But there's some lines here that basically, if you ride them every day to work, people have told me that you end up with black boogers because basically you're just breathing the tube air often enough that your snot turns black.
Jesus. Oh my God.
There's no pollution in London, not at all, not even a little bit.
That's fucking terrible. Like, what the hell? Like, why is London not under quarantine?
Right? I told you don't need vaccination over here, man. You just need the tube.
Yeah, what the hell?
It just kills all kinds of diseases.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Well, yeah, that makes me feel very uncomfortable now. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm looking forward to you come visiting. We're very looking forward to you to come visit.
Yeah, totally. I'll breathe in some black lung or whatever, and, it'll be great.
Beautiful. It's just brake dust, dude. It's just brake dust.
It's just brake dust and 150 years of pollution. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, it was a bit of an interesting thing compared to, like, Vancouver's got this thing now. They've just approved the Broadway subway or whatever. I don't know. It's going to Arbutus Street, so it's not even going all the way to UBC. It's going to cost $4 billion, and it's going to take him like 12 years to do.
Of course.
And I mean, it's just like in comparison to a lot of places, it feels like, I don't know, Vancouver like totes itself up quite a bit, but doesn't really maybe measure up to that reputation it's built for itself in some ways. I mean, as like a destination, it's totally cool, of course.
Yeah.
But as a city, like the people here, they brag about it all the time. They're always, but having lived down here now for about 8 months, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, it's cool, but it's not that cool. Like it's nice. It's a nice city, but people here seem like kind of closed off sometimes. Like, I'll walk down the street. I think I was talking to someone about this the other day, where you're walking down the street and people don't really make eye contact. They don't really talk to you. They don't really say hi. I mean, everyone seems kind of like doing their own thing, and I don't know. It's weird.
That is, yeah. It is. I can definitely say that London, even having like a 10 times more people here, you definitely get more interactions with the people around you. I think it's more, it's less, I'm doing my thing here. I've definitely been just like had conversations struck up with me with strangers as soon as they hear my accent. They just like, oh, where are you from in the States? I'm like, I'm not from the States. I'm from Canada. And that's usually where the conversation ends because they haven't got anything interesting to talk about Canada. But at least they're talking to me. That's nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, people will sometimes hear, I don't know, if you talk to them, they look at you like you're a fucking psychopath. They're like, why are you talking to me in public? Like, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to do that. It's like, what? Like, I don't know. It feels strange. And I don't know whether it's, maybe just the weather, whether it's like, oh, yeah, it's raining, so people are a little grumpy today, or even on sunny days, maybe. Even sometimes, like, you try and talk to someone, they seem shocked that you're trying to talk to them out in public.
Yeah. Like, how dare you interrupt my day by myself?
Yeah, or like, well, dude, don't you know we're not supposed to talk out here? Like, it's kind of like an understanding that we all have.
Yeah, that's a super Vancouver for you, though.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say was that I've had this on our podcast notes for freaking ever, was that avocados aren't vegan.
Oh, I've lost your audio again, big guy.
Oh, yes. Awesome. Here we go. Oh, I'm so excited.
I lost it.
All
I heard was avocados aren't, and then it just stopped.
So you're just going to be in suspense now? That's amazing. That's so funny. You can't hear me, but I can hear you. I can hear you. This is awesome. Oh, you're so dumb. Oh, man. Okay, let's end this call. Try again. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, I think you're back. Yeah, I think you're back. I can hear you now.
There we go.
Yeah, who owns Skype? Because I'm going to complain.
Microsoft. Microsoft owns Skype.
Hey, Microsoft, get your shit together.
Yeah. Rather than listen to this conversation, why don't you fix Skype? You sexy
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just pause our conversation for a minute. Go fix the code, then come back.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yes.
Yeah, all I heard was avocados aren't, and then it just cut out, and I was like, aren't what, Lucas? Aren't what?
Aren't what? That's amazing because I said they aren't vegan. Because technically, if you go by the strictest form of veganism, you can't do anything that is animal byproduct. And every fruit and or vegetable is an animal byproduct because you need bees to pollinate the plants.
Really?
Boom. Yeah, if you went by that strictest fucking term, basically the only thing you could eat
It's like nuts.
is dirt.
Dirt, yeah. Nuts and dirt. I actually drink the plankton that whales eat. And they're not really animals. They're just little like bottom feeders. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. We actually have a standing bet over here, Lucas, as to when you will become a full-blown vegan.
A full-blown vegan, eh? What is it, a time-based or is it like...
I mean, you've already kind of converted to somewhat of a vegetarian lifestyle. So we're wondering, like, how long will it take to fully convert him?
Yeah, well, Jenna and I still eat eggs, and we had salmon for lunch today, so fuck you. And
That's fair. What
did I have for... Oh, I had a chicken burger for lunch yesterday, so why don't you just take that giant dildo and shove it up your bumhole?
Too late. Already up there. Do you want another orifice or maybe another device?
No, I don't want you to shove it in your mouth, and you're not going to be able to talk to me, so...
That's fair. That's fair.
We don't know nobody wants that.
Yeah, I suppose. What was the thing I was going to talk about? Oh, I guess my rage cage is people like in Vancouver not talking to each other. But, so we've already gone through the topic without establishing what it is. But I had something else I was going to talk about. Can't remember it now. Oh, well.
This always happens. I'm glad to be back on this train. We should get this going again every week because then I can.
Yeah, I suppose we should actually do what we promised we would do.
Yeah, so this is season whatever fucking season we're on here, folks. And
like 3.5 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Let's. We should give it like a new title because we're in different countries now. I like the Wonder Boys podcast online because it's not in person, but. What was I going to say? Yeah, we should keep this up because then I can put some ideas together. We can put little bloggy posters together, and that'll be nice because now you're not working the weekends all the time. Or it doesn't matter for me. It's like because if you have a day off, I can talk to you in the evening, so this is good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that works. We'll figure out the timeline. We'll try and get this as regular as we can, and then we can actually talk about things as they happen instead of, hey, like avocados.
Hey,
that we've been trying to talk about forever.
That's right.
We'll get this together. We'll do this.
We can make it so.
Anyways, thanks for making some time, Lucas, and making the journey to this shared workspace that you're coming to us from.
Thank you, because our internet at home sucks dick.
Yeah, ours was kind of, or like at least the Wi-Fi on one side of the apartment, because our apartment's kind of spread out. Lucas used to live here before he moved out, but it's basically the bedrooms are all the way on the north side of the building, and then the living room where the actual internet router's on the south side. So we had another router set up on the north side because the Wi-Fi was so weak, because like the hallway stretches all the way down. Like it's not the biggest apartment, it's just really weirdly laid out. So like the Wi-Fi in my room was like terrible. It was so bad, and I realized all I had to do was like unplug and plug in the router again. Fixes the problem. I was like, why does that fix every single problem? Like, what is happening? I don't understand. Like, is this some kind of sick joke?
When they created like technology, they're like, what's the main fix? Oh, good question. Yeah. Should we put a button on everything? No, that's a bit too much work.
Yeah, just pull the plug out and then put it back in.
Crazy. Because that doesn't work in other, like if you're a cook, if you're a chef, you can't just unplug it and plug it in again.
You can't just turn the heat off and then turn it back on. Like, it's unburnt now. Yeah. It's not burnt anymore.
That problem's fixed. Yeah, that's really funny. But yeah, welcome back to the Wonder Boys podcast. I never thought I'd say that again. I'm so excited.
Well, hey man, settle down. We were just working up to it. That's what we were doing.
Building anticipation, getting our social media primed, even though we post 0 to nothing on there. So yeah, we were just getting.
Yeah, I'm not good at social media.
Hey, I got the certification. I did the Hootsuite social media certification. I'm fully fired up now.
Damn.
I'm a fucking do this now, man. Shit. And I just watched an episode of The Wire today. That's why I sound like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I watched all of the Narcos series.
Oh, nice.
And basically, I watched them all pretty fast. So I went through the first 3 Narcos seasons, and I went onto Narcos Mexico, and I watched them all within about 2 weeks. And I was like, I'm totally fluent in Spanish now. I can speak all of it. Except
Puta de madre. That's my favorite.
Yeah, exactly, like that kind of thing. Like, yeah, bad words or like cocaína, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's all. You can get like, oh, you know how to say cocaine in Spanish. Very nice. Yeah, so it's kind of a funny little thing where I was like, I even went to the grocery store one night after watching about 4 episodes in a row, and I walked in and 2 staff members there were talking to each other in Spanish, and I was like, are they actually talking to each other in Spanish, or is my mind just so locked into Narcos now that all I hear is Spanish wherever I go? But it turns out they were actually speaking Spanish, so... Well, I suppose we should actually wrap this up because we've promised to do that for like 5-10 minutes now.
Oh yeah, we should do that. You sign us off. You're the news anchor now.
Yeah, let me see. Okay, we are on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We have a website. Our website's wonderboys.ca. Our handle is @WonderboysCast for all of those other fun social medias. You can always, contact us through those if you want to talk about anything, or even, share with your friends, Mom, Dad, Tanner. Guys, tell people about the podcast that will actually listen.
Please.
Okay?
Please tell people.